So, I would like to start this video off because I know that there's going to be some Yang gangers that are probably going to click on this, stumble their way in here. And I would just like to start this video off with a direct message to those people that support Andrew Yang for president even after he's dropped out of the race. Um, and this is, I'm saying this in earnest before I actually talk about the subject matter here. Universal basic income is a good idea. Universal basic income was not Yang's idea. He did not come up with this idea. You can make an argument that he popularized it, but he popularized a Milton Friedman neoliberal disaster capitalist version that buys into the whole idea and the notion that automation is a bad thing. Automation is a good thing. Automation can benefit all people. The way that we prevent automation from being a bad thing is by rearranging the class structure of our country. So his version of a UBI is a disaster capitalist band-aid saying, oh yeah, Jeff Bezos is just going to be the most powerful human on Earth and there's nothing we can do about it, so let's just give you a check so that the robots can take your jobs. And that check is always going to be less than what you're making now. Always it's going to be less. It's not a good version of UBI. Now, I liked UBI. When Andrew Yang first came into the race, I liked him for a solid year because he came in like, I think 2017 or 2018, and he was doing the rounds. And I liked him for a while. And then once like 2019 kicked into gear and once like everyone else started announcing, because he was one of the first people that came in, he just talked more and more, and you could tell more and more that his version of a UBI is not an egalitarian one, especially when he started saying that things wouldn't stack and that he wants to try to cut food stamps to fund it. It's not a good UBI. But here's the thing, Yang gangers, and again, I'm just doing this whole thing. You like UBI, Yang turned you on to UBI. That's great, right? Like, that's awesome. And I'm glad that you're on the right side of history. However, one thing you need to learn before you're going to get too far into more politics is that in order to like a specific policy, you don't need to be a cultist. You don't need to build a shrine to a specific human being because you like a policy. So now with that being said, let's go into the subject matter. Andrew Yang puts out this extremely dumbass tweet. And my thing here is Andrew Yang's not going to watch this video. I'm talking to Yang gangers. And again, I mean this in complete sincerity. Andrew Yang's UBI proposal was terrible. It was bad. It gave in to doomer logic, and it's just not appropriate for where we are in history. A UBI, that does not mean that UBI is bad. It means that UBI should be done in a very progressive way that does not leave poor people off. If you say, okay, we'll give you $1,000 unconditionally to every American, that's great. But when you put it conditionally, when you say, oh, if you get $500 in food stamp benefits, you choose between $500 in food stamps versus $1,000, yeah, that gives you $500 more dollars. But is that $1,000 unconditionally to every American? No. In this instance, that would be $500 conditionally to that American, and that's what you have to understand. You can like UBI without defending Andrew Yang. It's totally possible. I do it. I'm a UBI advocate, and I don't like Andrew Yang. So once you detach yourself from this cultish mentality, we can move on and get serious things done. You can like specific aspects of the Yang campaign. You can like the camaraderie you have with the fellow Yang supporters, but that does not mean that you need to rush to the defense of Andrew Yang every time you post something stupid on Twitter. And that's just what I have to, this is my personal public announcement here. So, Andrew Yang posts this stupid ass tweet saying people should get the virus on purpose so that they can recover and be antibody fucking military machines. Stupid garbage. And then everyone basically rightfully says, no, that's dumb as shit. And then this stupid fucking guy, Yang for POTUS, which, again, you do not need to make a shrine to someone in order to support a policy. For example, I like Bernie Sanders. You can see the Bernie stuff behind me. Does that mean I like when he calls Joe Biden his friend? No, I don't. And I criticize him when he says that. When he says Joe Biden's my friend and people say, oh, look, he's saying it again, do I say, no, Bernie Sanders is not saying what you think he's saying. He's actually doing 89-dimensional chess, and actually Joe Biden is his friend. Like, no, I don't do that. You want to know why? Because I'm not a cultist. I don't care about this person above the policy. I care about the policy above the person. If anything, Bernie Sanders he's squandering a good opportunity. If he just goes hard on Joe Biden, he could still win this thing, but he's not doing it. And there are going to be thousands of people that die. And I disagree with him heavily on that. So I support Medicare for all. Does that mean that I'm going to defend everything Bernie Sanders has ever done? No. So that's what the thing you have to understand here is. So this person says, I know you can read better than this. Keywords. Friend suggested. Voluntarily. He's literally repeating what someone told him. He doesn't mention if he is for or against it. He simply commends the bravery of the person who said it. Jesus. Like, again, like, this is, like, just peak fucking cultism. Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, like, again, this person is just not, like, it's hard to believe if this is a Russian bot or not. I'm starting to fall into this conspiracy theory because, like, there's no way a real person would write this. Like, that's like saying, oh yeah, I heard if you put your toaster on in the bathroom, something cool might happen. You know, it's just what someone told me. I'm not saying I'm for it or against it, it's just that's what someone told me. Well, guess what? Promoting the idea that people should get the virus to make themselves antibody military machines, you not saying it's a stupid idea on your tweet is where you're giving it that credibility. You're laying credence to it. You're a CNN commentator. You have a position of privilege and power over a bunch of adolescent teenagers that still are in hero worship phase of their lives, right? Like, you have to understand that. It's like when you're writing a kids show, you can't, like, have parts where, like, people are, like, lighting fires and playing with fires because it would be imitative behavior thing. Like, you don't want to have kids go like, oh, look at that, even though they say it's bad, or even if whatever, they might just do it because kids imitate, like, art a lot. That's like when I was a kid, I would run around pretend to be a Naruto character, right? So, like, you can't do that for these specific reasons. And when you have a bunch of, like, 15-year-olds that are obsessed with you and have Yang Gang for POTUS accounts, right? You have to be responsible with that power. And again, it's just like, that's the indictment here, is that he didn't say that it was stupid. He was like, these guys are hardcore American flag. Andrew Yang is garbage, right? Like, he is not on your side. He is on the side of big business. He's on the side of the establishment. He's on the side of CNN and the mainstream media, which, come on, y'all. It should be obvious by now. He used you to get to a position of privilege and power, and he doesn't need you anymore. He's going to keep saying dumb stuff. And again, I hope he sees this, bro. I hope that Andrew Yang is swimming through his mentions and goes like, wow, man, this guy really backed me up. Like, let me look through the likes. Did Andrew Yang like this tweet? If he did, then maybe, you know, I get it. Right? Like, oh, man, I'm going to swim for those Yang likes. But it doesn't look like Andrew Yang liked the tweet. It looks like it's just a bunch of losers. Like, really? Like, you're gonna, like, again, oh, whoops. Oh, shit. I accidentally switched scenes on OBS. But, like, you're gonna, like, do this for someone that doesn't even like your tweet, man? Like, seriously? Like, come on. Like, come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, just grow a fucking brain. Like, seriously. And again, I mean this sincerely. If any Yang Gang is watching this, you don't have to defend every stupid thing Yang posts in order to like UBI. Come on, man. Get a grip on reality, exit the hero worship phase of your life, and graduate to, I mean, reality. I don't know what else to say, but thank you for watching. Andrew Yang's a dumbass, and I love talking about the Yang Gang. I guarantee you there's going to be some really funny comments. So if you're watching this video like 3 days later, 4 days later, check out the comments, because I guarantee you there will be some good ones, because there always is. Yang Gang, man. Watch my Joe Rogan reply guy video, and that same mentality goes to the Yang Gangers. It's just, I hope he sees this, dude. I really hope that Andrew Yang likes your tweet, because that makes it worth it, right? That makes buying his brain-dead conspiracy garbage worth it. If he gives you that like, it means you're fucking good as hell. I remember when I had a famous person like my tweet, I was like, damn, I might just build a shrine and convert my entire Twitter activity to doing that. But then I was like, oh wait, I'm not 3 years old. I forgot. Whoops, just forgot for a second. But that's okay, we all lose track of reality every once in a while. But again, Andrew Yang, man, what the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Seriously though, like, there's something wrong with it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the problem is with this guy. It's just super strange. It's just